everybody. This is Trackside Talks with Sam and Zach, and this is Hot Takes Edition, where we'll each be sharing our biggest hot take. All right, Sam, what do you have to say about the Italian Grand Prix weekend?
So, obviously, I'm absolutely delighted. This was just an absolutely monumental race for me because I'm a Ferrari fan, and it was just amazing to watch Charles win Ferrari's home race, and I really did not think it was possible after he got fourth in qualifying, and just their pace throughout the whole race has never looked that good in the past few races, so I didn't have a ton of hope. But the strategy was absolutely flawless. Carlos, big shout out to him for sacrificing himself at the end to let Charles stay in front of the two McLarens. Yeah, just an absolutely great weekend. I thought McLaren also had a great weekend. Alpine, unfortunately, did not have the best weekend. But yeah, I thought it was also just a great fun race to watch. What do you think?
Yep. Congratulations, Sam. That's good for you. But here's the thing. Alpine really needs to pick it up because they have two good drivers and proven drivers, but they just keep not delivering with their car and upgrades. So hopefully they can get in line. And then, to me, the biggest surprise is Colapinto. He said he'd only driven 8 laps in an F1 car before, getting six places in the Williams, which is fast around Monza, but still very impressive for him. So good for him. And I can say I'm very glad that Esteban Ocon is going to Haas next year because they look so much faster.
Very true. Every year since Haas has joined Formula One, they've gotten so much better. So I do have high hopes for him. Another big thing was George Russell's thing into turn 1 when he went off the track. I feel like that happened, and he never truly came back from that fall, which was just really tough for him because he had a pretty good qualifying, and he hasn't had the great past few races, so he could have really used that. But yeah, just someone wrong into that first corner, and it messed him up the whole race.
Now, I have a question, Sam. What do you think about Ferrari winning the Constructors' Championship if their car starts to get turned around? I think they have a chance. They're pretty close to both teams, really.
I think it's 100% possible. I'm almost sure we will pass Red Bull. I mean, if we stay even remotely on this track, we will pass Red Bull.
Yes.
But the only wonder is, McLaren's looked essentially unstoppable. Each race just getting farther and farther from Ferrari. But I definitely think it is possible. They're not at all far apart. So I think we'll just have to see how the race in Baku goes. I also think Red Bull have previously done terribly in Singapore, so I feel like that could be a big race for McLaren and Ferrari to start catching up to them and see how that goes. Do you think Alpine is... probably not. They're at the top of the bottom table, but they're not going to catch up to RB or Haas.
No, definitely not. But, so I don't know what's going on at McLaren because they have two great drivers, a great car, and the garage and their team is just filled with, confusion. It's I don't know what's going on. First of all, they should not have let Oscar Piastri been racing Lando Norris when Lando's fighting for the championship win. And that move into, turn 4 really set Lando up badly for the whole race, which it was a great move, but they really need to figure it out, I think, because I think they should be winning the Constructors' Championship, and I think Lando should be much, much closer in the battle for Drivers' Championship. But I'm very excited to see Baku. Charles Leclerc has been great there almost every time he's raced there, so I think we could possibly be seeing another Ferrari podium and maybe even a Ferrari win.
That would be a dream come true. I think the only worry for McLaren at this point is if the two crash into each other. Because as we've seen from that last race, Piastri is super aggressive. And so if they manage to come together and then neither of them get points, that's just going to be a hideous loss for them.
Yeah, just like Ferrari's double DNF in good old Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now time for our biggest hot takes of the season. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first. I have to think of mine.
Okay, so here's my opinion. This may just be biased because I've been just recently seeing these last two races also, but I think George Russell, even though many will disagree, I think he's had a very disappointing season for Mercedes, because especially in the last two races, he's qualified third and then ended in 7th and 8th, but also he just been, I feel like his racecraft and moving up or down from his starting position, he's almost always been going down. I think he's been getting overshadowed by Lewis Hamilton, who's not very far ahead of him in the constructor standing or the drivers' championship standings, but just looks so much better than him every time they go out there in the same car. I will say he's been okay in qualifying, but I just do not think he's been doing well in the races, and I don't know how he'll look as a driver one over Kimi next year, so that'll be interesting to see.
Alright, my hot take, and this is one of the toastiest takes I've ever had, but I think that Valtteri Bottas is still a top 6 Formula One driver.
Yeah, you're insane.
I think that his car, here's what you have to understand. You have to look at it, how he performs compared to Joe, and he absolutely dominates him. I mean, so many times this season he had great chances of scoring, but just could not close in on the end, just like this past race. And I think that that he is the ideal pick for Red Bull to take instead of Checo Perez.
See, wow, that sure is a toasty take, I'll give you that, but I just do not see it in him anymore. You know, he's old. He does not. I don't think he has a lot of potential left. But yeah, I see. But I think all the F1 drivers are all of the drivers on the grid right now are very good. Besides, I would say Kevin Magnussen, who just by the way got his one race ban.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Completely terrible. I know he deserved it because he got in a bunch of pretty bad crashes, but I don't think this should be the thing that got pushed over the edge. But I'm not complaining because maybe Esteban can catch back up to him in the championship standings.
Mm-hmm. All right, now let's make predictions for Baku.
Top 10?
Top 10. You go first.
Okay, look, this is probably just wishful thinking, but Lance Stroll in 10th. Daniel Ricciardo in 9th, actually. Ocon in 8th. In 7th, Sergio Perez. 6th, Lewis Hamilton. 5th, Carlos Sainz. 4th, Oscar Piastri. 3rd, Lando Norris. 2nd, Charles Leclerc. And I actually have Max Verstappen winning.
I definitely do feel that that this could be Max's comeback race because he knows that he usually is in poor form in Singapore, so this is really a huge chance for him to get back on in form. And I think again, Charles is super in form as well as both the McLarens. All right, so for me, I'm gonna start at 1 and go to 10.
Okay.
Winning the race, I have Lando Norris. And I know that seems like the L pick, but it just even Charles Leclerc said after the race that he could even tell that the McLaren car was faster. There's not even that much of a competition anymore between who's the fastest car. At this point, the only way to beat McLaren is a really good strategy, especially because of how good their qualifying is. But I just don't see that happening this race, and he's fighting for the championship, so I think he has a lot of motivation, so I think he wins this one.
Okay.
In second place, I have Lewis Hamilton. He needs a big comeback race. He hasn't had a great race in too long. Then in third, I have Charles Leclerc. In fourth, I have Oscar Piastri. In fifth, I have Checo. In sixth, I have Max. In seventh, I have George Russell. In eighth, I have Pierre Gasly. And in ninth, I have Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent?
He's been...
He's not an F1 racer anymore, Sam.
Sorry, Alex Albon. My bad. Sorry, I was thinking of Alex Albon's face. I just said Logan Sargent. I meant Alex Albon. So I think he secures 1 point for Williams.
Okay. So you still don't have Ocon in the points?
No, but I do have Perez. I just feel like, sorry, not Perez. I do have Perez, but Gasly.
Yep. Well, Gasly has looked better this season, but we could argue for a long time on who's the better driver.
True.
All right. Well, have a good time. Have a good one, Sam.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Toodaloo-doo. Okay, here we go. Favorite track?
Ooh, Brazil or Silverstone?
All right, both good. Favorite driver?
Lewis Hamilton or George Russell or Kimi Antonelli?
Favorite race to rewatch?
2011 Canada. It was the longest race ever.
Favorite dog on the grid?
Roscoe.
Love Roscoe. Who should have won in 2021?
Lewis.
Obviously. Favorite race this year?
Silverstone.
Favorite looking car of all time?
The MP44.
Who do you think the GOAT is?
Ayrton Senna.
All right. Is free practice worth watching?
Yes, because you get where people are.
Completely agree.
More technical than the race.
100%. Who will win Constructors' Cup this year?
McLaren.
McLaren. Who is better, Ayrton Senna or Max Verstappen?
Senna.
And who is better, Kimi Räikkönen or Nico Rosberg?
Nico Rosberg, because he's a German.
That's probably true. All right, thank you very much.